Sundowns, the way we're dominating, and they've reached a point where Limo Africa, every team that plays against Sundowns knows who Sundowns is better than us. Romak.
What did we need to do in that Dortmund game for Sundowns to get a draw or a win? I mean, they were dominant on every metric.
Xitsanza adlale ka drip. Adlale ka drip go. Atsena go ground unga imbalance. Adlale arahe bolo because he makes the team look good, but for how long?
Yeah.
If you can ask Lorch, Kamota Memo, was he focused? Was he his lifestyle? All those things count. They count.
Kutlile rulani ara hauna bottle store awe.
Hauna
Ko
bottle
morao
store.
kore.
They count. You are one.
Oh, in the cup. What do you mean 10 years?
Now get tell us all.
Net bank.
We happy guy on that bengelo like and then the next
At least we kiss something.
level achieve you.
I want swimming pool. Poland.
No, but not swimming pool. Swimming pool is not the only thing that is
It's part of it.
Yeah, but like it's amazing.
Let long kwate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ore.
Why?
Eh? I don't think Sundowns. I'm not sure Sundowns can go pound for pound against Fluminense and win.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the State of Football, where the game meets opinion, memory, and a little bit of insight. Large disclaimer before we start: this is not personal; it's about football. Maybe khanyani, a little bit personal. You know, football is passionate. Mara, the one thing we're not here to do is babysit your favorite club, right? I'm your host, Thabo Mpho. This is our first episode, and I believe this is going to be a very special episode. I'm in very good company. I'm here today. Joining us on the panel is a man who is known and he knows what to win and how to win. Not once, but twice. A midfield engine who lifted the league titles with both Supersport United and the mighty Orlando Pirates. Next to him, we have a man who scored big, won big, and played for two of Mzansi's biggest clubs, Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns. A man who knows what silverware tastes like. He had to do it 3 times. Welcome to the State of Football, George Lebese, Tendani, Bibo, Ntsumayolo. Legrangens. Are you nice?
What an
How are you guys doing?
Nchumayelo.
Nchumayelo. Kan ki wile jwang?
Nchumayelo.
Ki wile Nchumayelo?
Nchumayelo.
Maka.
Serious?
So, di ka xolisa.
And or Bibo.
Once.
Bibo ne. Ke tlo bitsa Bibo mkhotsi, sorry ne. I apologize. And lastly, our next panel member has unfortunately not lifted a league title. Unless we're talking about under 15 school league. But the one thing he's done, he has archived literally every single trophy that has been played in the PSL since he was 6 years old. I kid you not. He's a football historian. He is an analyst, armchair analyst, if I can call it that, by choice. The host of the Apex Playbook, Mr. Mpho. What was Mpho?
Ke Mpho.
Hey.
Yeah, ke mnate jaaka wena.
Ke mnate mkhotsi wa ka,
Yeah.
tseba, a ke na mathata a mangata. Guys, there's like a lot on our itinerary because there's a lot happening in football currently as we speak. But I just want us to get straight into it. Ne? The biggest thing that's currently happening in world football right now is the FIFA Club World Cup.
Mm.
Before we even get into the play and everything, I just wanted to get from you guys. Ne? I mean, the FIFA Club World Cup, as you know it was a mid-season tournament where it was played for probably about 2 weeks. You'd have teams maybe missing 1 or 2 league games during that, and they'd come back, they'd play catch-up games, and that was it. From a broadcasting perspective, it's not a league or a competition where even SuperSport would buy broadcasting rights. We just know that the winner of the Champions League would probably win the Club World Cup. But as you know, it's been expanded to 32 teams. It's played at the end of the season now. The tournament is going to play up until 13 July, I believe. I believe the new season starts around the 15th of August, which is literally 1 month after this tournament ends. So from a player perspective and from the perspective of the tournament itself, is this an important tournament? Do we need this new format? And when do the players get to rest? You know, Mpho, I think let me start with you. What do you think? What's your opinion about this whole thing?
Yeah, look, I think for me it raises that question again whether are the players today playing a bit too much football, because all these guys have had long seasons, Champions League, league games, cup games, and now you're adding another tournament to it, a full blown tournament. and it does raise that question, And I think, number too, as guys who played, you're in a better position, right? As a player, how important is it once the season has ended? You've had a long season. How important is that period? Yeah, or rest, And a tournament like this, how can it disrupt that period of rest and stuff?
I don't know, like George, but like we know football in fit, like it's business.
Yeah,
As long as those people they make money, and then you also get paid now. So you're gonna have to do whatever that they tell you to do. So even if they say like, "Oh, we're now resty and what," you can't complain
yeah,
because it's business. It's business.
Yeah, it comes with a good incentive as well.
sure.
The guys are getting good bonuses.
Yeah,
You only have a period of time that you can play football,
Mm.
like 10, 15 years max, and you can enjoy. But obviously, you need to manage it because your body is not, you're not a machine. So it needs to come at a balance where you're able to take the load
yes.
and then also rest. But I mean, the guys can't complain.
So the consensus I'm getting is it's commercial. The guys are getting paid. The guys need to play.
Yeah, but I
In
don't
a
like
nutshell.
here in South Africa. Our recovery, what do you have equipment compared to those ones in Europe? Like I think Brazilians they have proper equipment and
Yeah.
it's our rest, that's a recovery. So South African teams do I don't know because we have Sundowns there.
Listen, we've got
You know,
Sundowns is not
I don't
short of
know.
resources. I think let's.
That's what I like. I
And
want like
players.
I don't know.
I don't know,
George play there. Maybe we can.
I don't know swimming pool, Holland.
No, but not swimming pool. Swimming pool is not the only thing that there's a
It's
recovery.
part of it.
Yeah,
It
but like into Zahal, it's amazing. You think Holland, you know, check.
Okay.
Check Holland.
Eh,
Go.
okay. It's fine. I didn't say here, but I think
Okay.
it's
Yeah, but
about
like
recovery.
Cabo, I'm fed because like it's not only Uri. It's our recovery. Like South Africa was even like mostly we don't invest much in those.
Yeah.
Yeah, very.
We
Yeah,
need to
even
move
Okay.
it's
All right, let's take it from an African football perspective. Né? I mean, the Europeans do what the Europeans do. So do the Americans and so forth. But from an African football perspective, when you're looking at it, the incentives and the financial incentives, is this something that's good, like for a Mamelodi Sundowns and an Al Ahly? Is this something that's positive for them? Mpho?
Of course. I mean, I think you get like $2 million just for a win in the group stage. I mean, it's crazy money. So of course, financially, it's good. It can only benefit our teams. I mean, I like to see soccer players making all the money. I like to see it, and I know that, for example, a team like Sundowns, they've got this policy where most of the prize money goes to the players, and that's good. It can only benefit our football. So from a financial perspective, I think it's very good for African football. Yeah.
and the exposure as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I think now Ribeiro, they know
Yes.
him in Brazil
Yes.
because of this tournament. They
Even
didn't
when he
know.
left Brazil, he wasn't like
They
they didn't
didn't
really
know
know
him.
him.
Now
Yeah,
they
yeah.
know him. So
100%.
good exposure. Some of our local players, they being searched. I mean, we saw an article where Lorch was the most searched player
Yes, yes,
the
yes.
the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he was the most searched after the Man City game. So it's actually good for exposure. We have a lot of talent that is not exposed to being in Europe and all these things. So it's actually good for African players. But we have players like Rodri. He was
Yes.
complaining about the load.
Yeah.
Remember, he
Mhm.
said
Coaches
he's
are
gonna
complaining.
he's gonna go on strike and they can strike, but African players need this platform. So
Good
it's actually
exposure
good.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's also good for our league. When those players come back, they
Mm.
have a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
It's good for our national team also.
Mm,
So
mm.
I think it's sharp for us. Like
So,
we caning.
so you think there might be? I mean, obviously, you talk about Barking Lodge being the most searched players. Obviously, Mamelodi Sundowns. There's players that are playing there. You think for the national team also, some players might get an opportunity maybe to be seen on a global stage where initially they would not have been seen or gotten that opportunity possibly.
Yeah. I mean, we already we're complaining. We're not sending as many players to Europe as we used to. And it's probably because maybe our national team has not been doing that well. So the focus is not really on us. I think the Europeans have been focusing on like your West Africa, North Africa. So maybe for our players to play at this kind of stage, it will bring back that attention and focus on South African football, and it will help us to send players abroad. So yeah, it's definitely positive from that perspective.
No, granted. I think I just want to shift the spotlight a bit, né? Talk about Mamelodi Sundowns. I mean, they're the club that's representing us right now in the Club World Cup. But before we get into the games, tactics, or any of those types of things, I mean, there's a lot of noise around Mamelodi Sundowns, especially what they do, players they buy, the coaching situations, and so forth. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about team ya Rulani. Is it Mangoba's team? Is it Cardoso's team? No, there's a lot of noise around that. So what do you guys think? Do you think we should be watching Rulani right now, coach in the Club World Cup, coaching Mamelodi Sundowns?
Absolutely. Guys, like this is Rolani's team. Let's be honest. Rolani qualified. He was responsible for Sundowns qualifying for the Champions League. And for me, we don't know the reasons. I think there's two possible. There's two theories. One is that they fired him because he didn't win the Champions League. I think if that's the case, I think it was a bad decision because it's very difficult to win the Champions League. So I don't think you can fire a coach because he's not won the Champions League after trying only 3 or 4 times. The other one is that it was pure politics because he did not get along with the sporting director. But either way, and if that's the reason, that's also a bad reason to fire a coach like that. So yeah. So to answer your question, I think Sundowns should have kept Rolani. I think we should be watching Rolani ball right now at the Club World Cup. So it's disappointing, and especially because, I mean, I don't like this mentality that we've always had, where it's like once we qualify for certain things, suddenly South Africans are not good enough. Everything that's European is better, and it's nothing against the coach Cardoso. I think he's a very good coach, right? But I just think we need to shift from that mentality as well, where when South Africa goes to a World Cup, we need, I mean, yes, and for me, I've seen this happen so many times. For example, Clive Barker qualified us for the '98 World Cup. Ria World Cup at Philip Trussier. Like it's just, and it's been going on, and it's very disappointing to have seen it happen with a young coach like Rolani as well. I don't know what you guys think.
It's the same, like as Coach Pizzo was saying. I was listening to one of his interviews. People take him serious outside South Africa. So that means we have a coach like that, but we don't even show that he's the best. Like even the same as Rulani. So we think Mutwago Europe is gonna do the better job than our local coaches. And I think so as a country, it's not like I really much.
Yeah,
I think it goes on really playing. I don't know, George. When
Yeah, I think also Rolani deserves to be there, man. He built the team. There was a style of play that we all enjoyed,
yes,
and I still question the style of play of Sundowns till today. I don't know the style of play. They just know how to win. So I liked how Rulani formed the whole team. But now already this is Rulani's team. There's a couple of players that are left at home. Those are Rulani's players. I can say those are Rulani's players because of the recruitment and what he did before he left. So I question that. Team ya Rulani. Is it really Team ya Rulani? Or is it really Team ya someone else that has a higher power? I don't know. That's something to question.
let me ask you guys this, Ned, because you guys, you've played at that level, right? And you've been coached by local and foreign coaches, right? For Luna as players, does it make a difference whether you've been coached by a foreigner or a local coach? Like, in terms of relatability, is there, you find it easier to relate maybe with a foreign coach or a local coach? And because sometimes the perception also is that local coaches don't get the respect that foreign coaches get. Lona as players, how do you that dynamic? Does it matter whether the coach is foreign or what?
no, I don't know. Like for me, because like I was coached by foreign coaches when I was young, European coaches. So it helped me to develop, to grow as a player.
Yeah.
And then I think they gave me it was a good platform, like the whole. But like that's also whole, as you understand. There's coaches and they want you to play like this. Also whole, you change your style, but I don't think it makes a difference that much. But like I'm not gonna like the coach South African fit.
Yeah, I think this is a big stage. Moloring, they need to get the exposure as well. As much as the players wanted, the coaches need an exposure. But you just need a coach that believes in you. I'll not have a relocation or guy. As long as the coach believes in you, it works. It works wonders. You've seen players come from nowhere and then someone else comes in and then what change? All of a sudden he's a star because someone believes in him. So
Like, have you been, what's the coach I give you?
yeah.
Matisiti, nabu arvivi wa Matisa.
But the coach loved me, but none rather coach. That guy didn't care who's who they go parents. Said Bibo is gonna play. So that coach like so like and I go to Europe. from ko dimo da ba kgona hore yo ba mmamela.
Yeah.
Then player can coach South Africa, like for example Boroj, to be scared or
So we're saying foreign coaches are getting more respect.
yeah,
Even
because I've seen
I think it looks like it. It looks like
Yeah.
it from a distance.
It
because
is
like
like that.
wa bona ke yona ke bone if it is so I don't like coach Viviana re hey uno etsa la hey.
they give him what he wants.
But if coach Roger or coach Teboho Mokoena, they say hey ya bona it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's
Man.
not the same.
No, I think I don't want us to get too much into the politics of South African football and coaching. Yeah, no, 100%. They there. And they're there, and I feel you guys are very passionate about it, which is a good thing. But I think now, we've watched Sundowns play their first game and their second game, but let's start with the first game, right? Sundowns won 1-0. What did they show us in that game in terms of who they are as a team? And also, what did they do right in that game to win 1-0? But do we think maybe they missed an opportunity by only scoring one goal in that game? And could that come back to bite them when it comes to qualification for the second round?
Yeah, I think firstly, in terms of what they showed us, what I liked is that it felt familiar, and it's been the theme throughout this tournament. It felt like the Sundowns that we've been enjoying all these years, because since Cardoso came in, it's been a bit more conservative, maybe a bit more pragmatic, but I think we saw them going back to their usual Rolani kind of dominant, keep the ball, whatever. And I liked that. Mshishi came back. I think that was a big thing. Mshishi came back, which I think made a difference. I felt that Mshishi played a bit too deep for my liking. He was good, but I think he could even have been better if he played slightly higher the pitch, because
Yeah.
very often he was coming in as an 8. He would find himself in a straight line with Debza, Alende, and Mshishi as an 8, and I don't think that's him. Right? Even the goal that they scored, if you remember the goal that they scored, Mshishi had found himself in those kind of areas where you want him. Just in front of the opposition's back four. But overall, I thought Sundowns played very well, and I agree with you. I think they should have scored more goals than they could have. They had the opportunities. They should have scored more goals and probably would have put them in a better position. But I was generally very impressed with what I saw. I don't know Lofetu Liboni jwang lona.
Wena Mshishi comes later. Wena Mshishi udlala ka when 4
At 10.
10.
He plays the music.
So if for we are going, if Mshishi asadlali, Sundowns ya function sharp, ne?
It's not the same.
A wise man once said, "Just let Mshishi dance."
No, I wanted to hear from someone who played football. I wanted
No,
the
it's,
level.
it's not the same. You can see who
Yeah, it's not the same team.
he makes a difference.
It is because like even players they feel that. We noticed that if that player that we know when he's
Yeah,
around, Luruna Kaofela, we
Oh,
have
Wale.
this energy. I
It
think,
lifts
like,
the team, ne?
yeah.
Do you think? But how do you fit Mshishi and Ribeiro? Do you think they can play well together? Would you rather have both of them, or is it an either or, choose a one kind of thing?
I can have both of them, but someone needs to go out. And for me, Saleh, no. I'm personally nothing personal. I think I would prefer to have Mshishi.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, tactics, and I'm not a coach, but watching the game, I prefer him Adlalale Ribeiro because they make good combinations. So Saleh, I'm not sure. Is he a striker? Is he? There's a point where you find him deep. I don't understand. Position high. Morlingstrom
It's like game, man. Like, I still
exactly.
understand Southern game.
I'm still trying to figure that boy out. Because what I would prefer, come on, Tony Stelis Adams.
Yeah.
I would actually play Adams
I'd pay him
because he's more comfortable playing, coming deep as an 8, and then Mshishi occupy that space, occupy
A little bit
just
further
less.
forward,
Yes,
ne?
I would have it like that personally. I want, because Mshishi man, what I'm tired, guys. That ain't gonna be 8. Let's tell
Making-
you.
give him
You're
a,
making
like,
him
a
do
goal,
too much.
He's not that guy. Yeah, he's not that
too
guy.
far from
Yeah.
the goals.
You want him more in the final third than him
But I think Mshishi is the player.
Tebza to build
Yeah.
up play.
For me, Mshishi never give him a formation, man.
Mm.
That player,
No, you can't.
he can't stick to formation. Just let him do his thing. So in little nice players, I think they understand. Like, hey, sometimes him to like deep, sometimes him to like that.
Yeah.
As long as like he's in the mood, like it's gonna make you win the game.
You know what?
Like, don't
Let me ask you guys this.
restrict
And it's always better because Rona, the armchair critics, we can say whatever. You don't like that, a player like Mshishi. Because my thing is this: Sundowns, the way we're dominating, and they've reached a point where Limo Africa. every team that plays against Sundowns knows who Sundowns is better than us. Romaka. They've reached a point where even the North African teams fear them. Ne? And it's easier then to play Mshishi, probably, where you've got the ball that dominate or what. Mara, once you get to this kind of levels, where suddenly the opposition is not scared of Sundowns, the opposition is better than Sundowns, you still think Tabiam Mshishi span. Like if you look at what happened ka game ya Borussia, you know, when Sundowns is playing against teams that are actually better, right? How do you use a player like that?
How many times are you going to find teams that are better than Sundowns? If it Club World Cups have happened like how many years? 4.
Yeah.
How many teams can you count right now that is not scared of Sundowns?
In Africa, there's
Well, in
no,
Africa,
yeah,
yeah,
but
it's
that's
a
how
different.
Sundowns got fit.
And also to also support what you're saying.
Yeah.
Mshishi is at an age where you need to be planning for the future.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't plan with him. So Sundowns need to have a plan B. Hore. This is how we play. We can't always rely on him. We have him now, but make a plan, Hore. Moving forward. So my thing is, he's there now. He's good. He's making the team play.
Yeah.
He's always like, whenever he's in the field, something you're but I mean, they need to have a plan by now. I'm not saying take him out. Let him play. Afelle.
Yeah.
Mshishitanza adlale ka drip. Adlale ka drip go. Atsena go ground unga imbalance. Adlale arahe bolo because he makes the team look good. But for how long?
Yeah.
He was injured now. You saw a different Sundowns.
Sure.
Thabo.
They just played against Borussia right now, right? I think we can all agree. If you look at the stats, they did well. They were pretty dominant
Yeah.
on every metric. If you look at
They
the
were very
stats,
good, yeah.
they were very dominant. They did well. Mara, I think it also leans back to what the conversation we're having about Mshishi right now. Or maybe are we a little naive in terms of that winning mentality and how we're setting up our teams? Or what did we need to do in that Dortmund game for Sundowns to get a draw or a win? I mean, they were dominant on every metric.
Yeah.
So why didn't we not win that game from a South African perspective?
I thought they were too naive. I think, come on, let's be honest. Guys, we play good football, ne? Mara guys, let's treat the Dortmund to go cheap. Go PE.
Mara ba ba nokile nto.
But and I want to ask you guys this, ne? Because firstly, like believe it or not, this thing or there's a South African way of playing football, right? And if you do believe it,
What was the South African way of playing football?
I can remember Ronald Lala flair, right? You know,
Similar to
But
Brazil.
when was the last time we had that?
Okay.
Like, so our national team. Okay, let me start with the national team.
Mm.
When was the last time we had flair for South Africa? Maybe I didn't think Dr. Kumalo, shoes Mushweu.
yeah,
Mara-
Maybe that style as South Africa. And then
Yeah,
after
yeah.
Mono, because we bring European coaches, they can't go fail into it.
Okay, King Flay.
That's why
Actually, that's a very good question.
no,
You know what I'm
no,
saying?
but I'll give you an example, ne? For me, there's a certain type of player you can only find them momsans. Like you get
Like
Man,
product ya South Africa fail. Like,
Man,
you can
like-
go Ukaya Brazil, you want I'm not saying they're better,
Mm.
Mara, they're unique.
Mara again, you could need an example.
Mshishi,
Okay.
Yeah.
Thabo Mokoena,
Okay.
Teko,
Yeah.
Tito.
Yeah.
I think that's a uniquely South African. Like Okasimukre anywhere.
Dr. Kumalo.
Dr. Kumal.
That's it.
Okasimukre anywhere in the world. So for me, that's the one thing I identify. Okay, that one thing ke bona ke ya rona, ke Mzansi. Wabona? But then the question becomes, are Dlala at these kind of stages? Yaspana rere. You think Yaspana?
flair.
Yeah. This.
At the world stage.
Yeah. At the world stage.
Mshishi can work.
Yeah.
Akere o badile di-player.
Yeah.
Ke tlo o balla ka di-player. I think
Yeah.
Mshishi can work.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Kumalo can work.
Yeah.
Ya Tito,
I don't know if it can work.
ya Thabo Mokoena.
It can work.
Ya
It
think
Tito
it can-
wa, bafethu. Why ya Tito ka suspend?
Let's go, Paul, tell us something. Do you know? Do you know? You know what you've not realized?
Huh?
You know all those players that I've mentioned.
Yeah.
You agree with me, Ori, but uniquely South African, ne? Kintwana tsa kasi, ne?
Yes.
Can you tell us something? None of those players have played in Europe.
Mara, they as much as banale flair,
Yeah.
we bolelang,
Yeah.
but different
Okay.
in a way or the way ba dlalang ka teng.
Mm.
There's players in the ones that you mentioned. There's players that I can put in a team ya go Europe. There's players that I can't.
Yeah. You think Mshishi could play in Europe?
I think he can, as a combination guy, as you know. But Europe, we all know who Inyaka, a player that's almost like complete. there's certain things you also need to do,
Technique.
which is maybe Mshishi aratudira, like Adir. But
Like, was it like?
you can't have a player that is dribbling and dribbler ka mo halfong ya hae. Europeans don't want that. And that's a player
You
that's
want maybe like your Serrero, so maybe time.
yeah, he's
So
not a
like-
dribbler, but he's a smart guy that knows how to create opportunities. Europe and
But I
African
think dribbling as Serrero the same as Mshishi. But dribbling out China, why am I picking you?
Mara Serrero.
Yes, Serrero, I'm.
Yes, Serrero. Ilal private school niya nakahare man.
No, that's why I give those are players like Basay.
Yes, Serrero. man.
I'm asking someone who's also
Yeah,
like
inali private school niya.
unaleta thing ya wamfedza muntu cross unaleti wabona nto that thing. So Mshishi unalitolerance wasearch Mshishi hayi picking one. I'll compare Mshishi li Tito. Tito maybe like sometimes we are picking one and do this thing. Wait.
Uskam compare li
No,
Tito.
I'm
I like Tito ne.
not
Mara-
compare,
Mara-
not
Uskam
compare, but
li
I'm gonna
Shiga.
make an example. Ka Tito le Mshishi. Mshishi I ain't breaking you one. Mshishi wa pay, right? No, Tito am I sometimes breaking you one. Then sometimes I rather that thing. I used to play with a player like Burakhane. Rakhalo nalo am breaking you one, but it check out. Is those players ba khona ifilo khona bona mood ya rona di players tse. Ha etsa ntho one then le bona sa le no re hey oh banke batho ba. Like you are like that no. Una le players le ngona lo shapa style marajiwa. Ulwana ugcina umrwako and ukona maka. Then I'll tell you hayi baba no. You understand? You're wrong. You're wrong. So that's why I like Nick Batla was until.
But the question remains: do you think Hore, once let's say Borussia Dortmund, one teams that are obviously more superior, right? Tactically, does it still work to have? And I'm asking, does it still work to have Mshishi, or is it maybe not better? Maybe would like to say Uba say play tables as an 8, be more solid, whatever. Do you think Mshishi can dance with Borussia?
I think he can dance. Remember, Ariago World Cup, Joe, also marketing ourselves as
Yeah, yeah.
players. We impose our style of play as an African football team. So Horgets and Ubas and all these guys, Ororka defender Moscova more reserved.
Yeah.
So rather the reason why we got there in the first place
Yeah.
is because we're playing
attacking
Boleari,
football.
Neawate.
Fair enough,
So
yeah.
why change it when you get there? Okay, you can change it and say, Hore, they could have managed the game better.
Yeah.
We have a lead. This is not a cheaper. This is not with all due respect, it's not a Polokwane City. Mara, we have a lead. Are manage. Let's keep the ball. Let's Badlala Champions League, Joemo Africa. I mean, come on, they have all the experience. But we stand go keep the ball, just win at all cost. It was not possible, but we could avoid it. The mistake. I'm speaking as a South African when I say win. Yeah. So the mistakes could have been avoided. Unfortunately, get lesser and they paid a bigger price. They lost the match. And
Yeah, because Leron win, guys. Come on, let's like.
It was an error. It was unnecessary.
unnecessary,
But I mean, we live and we learn. So
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like you said, we were a little bit naive in that game. Rabatla noka Dortmund boma 90 minutes kaufela, where in some instances push up with clear. It's fine. I mean, it was not on, as we know, but it's fine. We've lost that game, so it's water under the bridge now.
Yeah,
So just moving on a little bit. Third game here, Downs Fluminense. It's a Brazilian side. We've seen Botafogo and Flamengo. They're doing quite well in the tournament. Fluminense this side, I can't say they're doing well because they've lost their first game against Borussia. So now we're gonna play against Fluminense. We need at least a draw to make it to the last 16, depending on how the results on the other side are. Are we making it to the last 16? What do we need to do to make it to the last 16? How do we set up the team? What needs to happen?
exactly what you were saying.
Let long what there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oren.
Why?
Eh?
Why?
I don't think Sundowns. I'm not sure Sundowns can go pound for pound against Fluminense and win. Right. I think Sundowns can win, but I think they'd have to be a bit more pragmatic. I think to beat Fluminense, you probably need more of a Cardoso approach than a Rolani approach. That's what I think. Because if Rotoyeda, Lama Brazilian, Rabula Gini, Rarankana. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would be a bit. I'm not saying they must defend completely, but I would be a bit more careful. tighten the midfield a bit.
Pragmatic.
Yeah. Be a bit pragmatic, Skadlala, that thing playing from the back, So yeah, I'd be a bit safer, keep things a bit tight, stay in the game, and I think maybe that's for me that's how they can win the game. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Sundowns ikalata Fluminense reaya pound for pound?
They've done it with Borussia. Fluminense, I would like to think it's a
Yeah.
less stronger team than Dortmund, and I think it's similar styles of play because they rely on flair.
Yeah.
Again, we have our own African flair; they have their own Brazilian flair. But again, we manage a game.
So how do you start?
How do I start?
How do you set up the team? Midfield. Let's start
Yeah,
from midfield.
yeah. How would you set up the team?
Okay, I would like to have Adams because you have possession when he's there. When he's there, onale position.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You can keep the ball. I would like to have him
Okay.
behind the striker,
Okay.
and then Ribeiro, obviously.
Yes.
Hmm?
But then again, honale question Shalulile, man. Shalulile is those type of players. Loring Adirate, but he does the job.
Yeah.
He scores the
It's
crucial
effective,
goals.
it's effective, yeah.
So because of, I would like them to go with a 4-5-1.
Yeah.
Then it questions Reyners and Shalulile.
It's tricky.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, but Wakora Reyners. Put him there, put Mshishi. Okay.
Ribeiro.
Put Sales Hanyane. Hanyane.
Yeah.
That's
This
all?
game, Ajedi Ice.
Oh,
Ujile
bench,
mara
no?
ujile mabani ayisa Crystal.
Yeah, ha, but this
Aja
time-
aja
Nice.
ice, innit?
Season,
this
the whole
time-
season.
Aja
I'm
ice.
benching the whole season.
Okay.
Things
Ma-
like-
Honestly,
ma-
no,
ma-
no,
no.
the whole
Mara,
season.
in terms
no.
of style, would you actually? Oh, you are
So
saying
come
you
to
would.
say,
No, no,
come
was
to
really
say,
already-
man.
eh?
Come to say, Kimanda, man. Sell so come to this. I'm benching.
Mang Sales.
Yeah. Bench now the whole season.
Okay, and I mean, Shalulile,
Ah,
higher bulel. I mean, he's supposed to
I
come.
would not start Shalulil. I would start. Not personally.
Reyners.
I would play like a 4-3-2-1. Right. I would have three midfielders. I would have Tebza, Alende, Lintwane. I keep forgetting his name.
Adams.
Adams.
Yeah.
My three midfielders. Nah.
Sleep.
I would play with 2 10s.
Okay.
Shishi
then
Le
Tebza?
Ribeiro.
Then
I
Tebza?
want- Yeah, let them dance the way we dance sharp, and then I'll play with Reyners up front.
That's it. Yeah,
But I would keep things a bit tighter, guys. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I'm giving these Brazilians too much credit. Hey, Marana, guys,
You-
look
they're
at
good.
Saba.
You think it's
You're
a-
pound for pound against Fluminense. Let's show
You think we
they
would not be
can.
able to,
But we
to dominate?
can. For different
Yeah.
level against Borussia.
Okay, I hope you guys are right. Hey, Marana, guys,
I mean, Europeans also but treat that tournament to pre-season. Like, I mean, if
they
you
don't
look
take it
at them,
seriously. Yeah, let's
they
be honest.
don't take it that
Yeah,
serious.
yeah.
So, I don't know win, like,
Yeah.
since batho ba re bone o irela.
You know what's very interesting? I saw
Yeah.
an interview that Ronwin did. I think he was speaking to Morton.
Michael Morton.
Yeah, you know what you know what Ronwin said? He said he can't wait to play against Fluminense because Rolani used to copy Fluminense.
Yeah.
He used to take the
saw that.
patterns of
I saw
Fluminense
that.
and they used to replicate those
I
things.
saw that.
So it's like I can't wait to play against them because it's gonna be like
So they
very,
know.
yeah, very similar.
They
The
know.
build up and whatever. And I thought
remember
that
we ile go
interesting. Yeah.
Brazil, like,
Yeah, he went for Brazil to
Rolani.
Brazil.
Yeah.
we ile go Fluminense. And then Barata style Sabona because they're Brazilian flair and then all build up and
Yeah, but like, you know, like sometimes like why the players are to go Brazil when I was 17, then he signed with Real Madrid. Have you ever seen that? What
Yeah.
Rodrigo Balbanyan, they signed with Why wouldn't you have like something like
Brazil though is seen
Huh?
as the mecca of football if you think about it. I mean, all the big European teams go to Brazil when they're looking for young talent. So are you saying why does that not happen in South Africa?
Yeah,
It
because
doesn't really happen in a lot of countries except
Yeah,
for
but
Brazil.
Ghana,
if you
if-
think about
I
it.
think maybe it's the standard Sarona as a nation.
Right.
That's why about Ghana. The player from Ghana can go to Real Madrid,
Yeah.
That's how
Inter
much-
Milan. One player, that's why we say Mpho must start go France, must start.
Negia mo.
With all respect, don't they?
Negia mo.
Like, why must he start go France, Sweden, Belgium?
I'm asking
But
you,
again,
why is
look
he
at
not
look
leaving?
at the type of players that those countries are sending overseas. Just look at them.
No, I'm saying like
They're big boys, they're strong, whatever. It's
We don't
and I
produce
don't
those
think
type
we
of players.
produce. I don't think we produce
Because the
that,
same-
that,
We do.
that type
No,
of
no,
player.
no.
Rodrigo will Real Madrid at least land.
No, that's South Africa. We don't produce.
No, my question.
Yeah.
My question is why Mofokeng Sazamai now? Why is he still in South Africa?
Aye, guys. So let's say, which
Europe.
country do you think
He
he'd
can
play
easily
in?
fit in a lot of countries, a lot of.
I take him
teams.
to Holland,
question
even
is,
in Belgium.
also-
Yeah, I think it's now Holland.
Why is he still here?
Holland, yeah.
Former team here how? Why is Mofokeng not leaving? Why is Mofokeng not playing?
No, like not Kibatlavai, like to be honest. But knowing the time, it terminates a sense. No, but like honestly, it terminates a sense. It
I
must make
understand.
sense to time it terminates a sense. Sorry.
Mara
If this boy leaves,
re bona pattern boy, and re worried boy. Teko have Lorch have
no, he'll go. That boy will go.
Mofokeng,
Re
Utlo
re
vaya,
No,
bona
that boy will
man.
go.
Ning.
He's gonna go this season, maybe.
Uchon.
Season eight kalang utomuvayisa, but like it needs to make sense. But it can you?
No fade. It's
It needs to
fine.
make sense.
Can you go?
Yeah.
I mean,
Muna, he's developed. This
It's unfortunate that Perez never had a youngster that we
for
can.
Monale ready, mfana,
Can
ne?
say.
he is.
The boy is
When was the
ready.
last time?
Capable of way more capable of. Okay, I'll go for team fitting in Gatafi. Why the boy cannot go there? And I mean, whole sense, yeah, financials. The boy was developed. Okay, there's money that's spent. Hotla team, I think he had an offer.
Mm.
I'm not sure.
Phone?
I stand to be corrected. Somewhere in Europe, he had an offer. So if team Itala, for instance, let's say 20 million rands, coming up, it's benefiting also the country. The boy is playing go Spain. Let him go. Release the boy.
Yeah, you're right.
Ah.
I also want him to go. So like Shabaka Renaki want him Paneva. I also want him to go.
Bibo, we're not saying
Hey,
it's
Mara
your
team ya how
fault.
man eh.
But it's unfortunate, like Team Yao has to play.
Ngezana, Papa. It's gone.
Wait,
Ngezana is gone.
Ngezan is doing quite well, but we're not saying it's your fault, ne? Mara, fade. It's fine. We'll get back to that. I think I want us to get back to Sundowns, right? Especially right now. Down so back to the topic Yamshish. I mean, down to literally pyramids go calf, right? Mshishi was on the bench. We know what everyone in the country was saying, what everybody in the country expected to happen. Lebona Joang, do you think if Mshishi Nadlala against Pyramids, was the result going to be different? Was he going to make a major impact and affect the game accordingly?
I think it's easy to say that. I can tell you now. If Mushishi nasadlala mobile, Borussia is less than 4-3.
Yeah.
But if Mushishi nasadlala in the Russia Borussia, it's easy to say that if he played. But if you ask me, would I have played him? Of course, I would play Mushishi. And for me, again, it raises that question of the foreign coaches, ne? Because before we talk tactics, you need to understand what MCC means to South Africans. That type of player, like I said, like a player is because if you think about it, football is football, right? A lot of players that we produce, you can find them anywhere else in the world, right? But often you have that once in a while you have that type of player who's uniquely South African, and he's very special to us as fans, right? And I think a lot of European coaches have a feature. It takes them a while to understand that concept. That's why you go bro Maralena mdala or no. No. Muke South Africa. We need a player like that.
Yeah.
So I would play Mushishi firstly for that reason alone. What he means, what he means to a team like Sundowns, right? What he means to South African football. I would play him for that. And tactically, do I think Sundowns would have? I won't say they would have won, but I think their chance of winning if Mushishi had played. I think Nedetloba. I don't know what you guys think, but I think if Mushishi had played against that Pyramids team, we could have done something.
Nah, one thing Bob Steak used to say, Naradore, the best players are the ones that are not playing. So obviously, especially if you lose the match, then start out question starting lana.
Yes.
But like you're saying, he's purely South African, and Ramos celebrate everyone.
Yeah,
We'd like to see him do good because he's done well for himself, like extremely well. So he's the next Dr. Kumalo. In my eyes. So it's a difference. Like we want to give me a Dortmund. I don't think he impacted that game as much as we would have liked because the level is different. So it's a question now. If Nadlala, if Nasadlala, we'll never know. As long as the thing happened, that's what we know.
Okay.
It goes up a little teammates. Teammates, in fact. Teammates. They have this thing when so and so is not playing, we're not playing, but they'll never say it to the coach.
Have
They'll never say
Have
it
you
out
guys
loud.
had that? Have you had that player who
I know that.
le matla ground room when he's on the pitch, just his presence
Lifts the team up.
gives you more. Have you played with a player like that,
Yeah, I did.
man?
I played with Benny.
Okay.
We know, like, he was overweight.
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
He was overweight. We all knew, like the Palama scale.
Yeah.
Ne? But like when as players, we know if as long as he's inside the field, so second defenders if 40 nana guy
Yeah.
minus 4 players. So there was a game we played against Marisburg. He was on the bench because coach was complaining that I think he's overweight, blah blah blah. He came on. A quarter season, we play
Yeah,
1-0. So there's players like that. Maybe like players didn't move on like if I can no
Yeah,
plan.
then Hobale
Do you think Mshishi is that guy?
Yeah.
I think
he is that
for
guy.
the
And
Sundowns
he
players.
celebrated. Oh, for a level, all the players go Sundowns. They celebrate him.
He's got his own
So,
song.
so they know him. They know. For a hard side.
Iring nambela.
Jiga kamnandi.
Ujia kamnandi ushiga.
Yeah, again. He's that guy. Ke music player. He's roller hats na.
Yeah.
More high.
I'm comparing Shika Bal.
Shikabal.
Salah against that guy.
Mm-mm.
Played against him also. Are then man.
Na it's already to this already.
But guys, don't you think this thing Mshishi ne? As a flop mardaring because it means now going forward. Cardoso must know. He had that some Shishika final and he felt the pressure. I don't care what he says. He says he did not Amud because of the pressure. Maromaka man. No, it had an impact, right? But going forward, does he keep playing him? Like Noga Dortmund, Mshishi played Ayaspan. Because to avoid that noise or Harji works at Mshishi. But
then we'll see what type of European coach he is. That means the weak one.
Yeah.
If like he now change his style of play, his beliefs,
Based
the
on
way,
that,
we'll see. That's what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna get type of thing at European.
Yeah.
Like we know about Vivi. Vivi will never.
Ah,
If you
Vivi,
say play
yeah.
George, he will never
Ah,
play
man.
George. I'm telling you. I remember like we had a Happy Gel on the right. You know, he said like he will never play it. He played Nyauza. And Nyauza did well. That's when Nyauza started playing regularly.
Yeah.
It's like you could say Tinaling, you call them Kinman.
Yeah, I must
Yeah.
say it.
Okay, sure. It's fine. Thank you for that. Another Sundowns player, ne? Kam khobolela ngoro no Ribeiro ba mitsi go Brazil.
Yeah.
A lot of South Africans, pundits, casuals, fans are saying that Ribeiro was probably the best player in the Premier League this past season. So that's number one. Ne? So I want you guys to first think about that. Was he the best player, Mo Betway Premiership this past season? And number two, should Ribeiro anke citizenship ya South African play for the national team?
I think past season Velena for me best player. I mean, as much as Gile South African, I would have liked Mofokeng win a player of the season because I think competition Elimo Mara, his numbers are just way up there. Bafana Bafana, I personally think he's a good player, but we have talent. We have enough.
We have enough.
Like I can give him play Bedway of the year, players player, but not in our country. He must go try go country. And then that's it. Then unfortunately, it's unfortunate for him.
We've never been
great
that
players,
country.
though,
Also, I would say I had players from.
So we're not like the Europeans.
Yeah,
If you look at
yeah,
the
I know.
Europeans, it's different.
Yeah.
We tried it. PA's also, guys. PA's.
Chase, I think he grew up in. I don't know. Not the first time. Can I get the Real World Cup 98? Don't listen to
Yeah,
but
Salida,
but get PA's.
Yeah,
It's the same situation. I'm guessing. I think Pisa had like those things where you have a South African grandmom or something along
Yeah,
those
that's
lines. I
right.
think it's one of those types of things. I don't have the information on that.
Then this
But
is
we
a
can
different
affect.
case.
It's a different case, ne?
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think it should be. We've got
So,
enough. We're sharp. Yeah.
No, the consensus. Ribeiro adule kantle, a kgutlele hae. Okay, it's fine. Teboho Mokoena. Some are saying this is the best centre mid we've had in the country.
Yeah.
Potentially in the history of the PSL. Potentially. I could say it's a contentious one. Is Teboho the guy? Is Teboho my boss the CM? South Africa who's played in the PSL? And so that's the first thing, né? Second thing, as you answering that question, Nore, out of all the CMs that we've had who are playing for South Africa, is he the one who could potentially have been a success in Europe? Or maybe still be a success in Europe?
For nothing, and I know, like, I know this is going to be controversial. Little Hana, whatever.
Why on another club?
But
Why?
honestly speaking, guys, I've watched the PSL. Ne? I think I think Debza is the best. I think Debza is the best centre mid in the country right now, and I think he's the best I've ever seen in the PSL. Yeah,
I don't know.
Oh, man, I know.
United-
I know. I was shocked. You know?
Good one.
Right? I think.
I
he's
mean,
the
Bibo,
best
you
I've-
played as a CM, my bro.
Yeah, but to be honest, enough on like in Mpho, all right. In a long time, I've never seen someone that can, at his age. Like I remember even when he started at Supersport, the understanding of the position was just before he even played for Sundowns. And then I remember I was talking to Coach Caetano Temu.
Mm.
I said like, yo, this boy is old, dude. Like the way he understands it. No, I'm telling you. Because like, and the time I was still, yeah, because like I think they go penning and at that time and then I went there to train with Coach Kaitan. Then I started playing.
Yeah.
Then I see how he understands. He's controlling everyone. But I'm like, because in a long time I've never seen a player that's he can pass, he can defend, he can run, he can head. In fact, he's complete, that boy. Now I think in a long time.
Now tell us what you think. If you don't agree, yeah?
I'm a fan of his work. Like I got an opportunity to go when I was loaned to Supersport.
Yeah.
So I saw him, I saw Mbule,
Yeah.
Aubrey.
Yeah.
I gotta get the old friends.
Sure.
So I've seen them and I've seen the growth here at Teboho. I've seen the growth here Ronwen as well. Like the guys have done exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Teboho is the best CM right now. Ka era e ya rena,
This era.
yeah, era A. But how tomorrow PSL then I start to
I don't feel like mine, George.
Give me CM still give 5.
Yeah.
Give me 5.
Five. Okay, 5.
I also have that in mind.
And on
I am
5.
thinking.
5 is a lot. But my 3.
Okay, 3.
Get 3,
I
fair.
give more. I'm trying to ask. Okay, Jali was never in.
No, Jali, I never.
Why?
Lahan.
Naga
Okay,
hard.
Nagahan.
Yeah, naga hard.
Talk about something. Jali, he packs the game. Jali is robust. Almost. He's a CM, but he's a robust. Jali, passing you never mention Queen.
He
Never.
doesn't have the technique at Debza.
Never.
Would it free?
And I played like
have
one.
the free
I
kick.
play with him.
Ushayedi,
I've competed the midfielders that I think like yo.
Yeah.
Number one, do not play in midfield in a Nagiwing. And people didn't think there was a player called Pochenpool,
Shane, yeah.
You remember Pochenpool?
Mm.
Passing, understanding of the game,
Yeah.
marking.
Let me also tell you something. Do you understand?
Yeah.
George also get 3.
I also get
No,
3.
like
Three.
no.
Don't expect-
Wait, I think George was about politically correct. George does not want to.
Politically correct, but
Yeah.
we say he's the best in
Best CM in
Guys,
the
that
history
boy-
of the PSL.
in the
history. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
huge respect for him. Don't get me wrong, but I'm saying do you know
Don't
who
make it look nice.
No,
Give us 3 players
Yeah.
that you think better than
do you know?
Pick any centre mid, ne?
3.
I'll tell you why Debza's better than
look-
him.
No,
any-
right now I
any-
don't
any-
have. I don't
any-
have
any.
in my era keyboard. So I'm saying to you now, do you also understand that the time and place is very important as a player?
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Sure.
It's very hugely important because there's players that were good, but because of Nabalgodi team in the wrong and the era thing, they didn't
Answered
look
well.
as good. Debza is in a well-oiled machine right now, which is Sundowns. He is there. He's one of the key players. He's very good. Debza.
At Supersport?
Right.
At Supersport?
Supersport nalo good so.
No, he was not like this.
Oh,
No,
come
but
on,
like
dog.
Taking his game
but,
to a different
don't forget
but
the
the-
age. Don't forget the age also at Supersport.
How old was he when he was at
Adams,
Supersport?
Supersport the age?
Adams. No,
Too much. Adams also football level at teams.
Unale bukai, no.
Guys, I'm
Like when I
finally-
once was like Supersport, that's when like na start like to see
Yeah.
all these things so
Yes.
like I compare the era.
Yeah.
The era.
Yeah, it's
There was a lot. There was no. Well, there's boys
It's
wrong.
all-
When you can go back, boys
It's
wrong.
Romo,
Boys
it's Romobo,
wrong. Bondigo
Nongomashe,
Mashe. Bangata.
Tiki-Tiki.
Stanley Khatlan. Lo bolela bona. Mara like when I'm tweeting right. O rata answers ka batho ba Europe.
yeah.
Sorry, there's time and place for
The
everything.
time and
So
place.
maybe I'm not
Ah,
as like.
do you
No, but what I believe sharp, what I believe sharp, and don't find no no like in a hand. You were right.
do you
But I'm thinking, yeah, but once the sharp, George
MLP, do you understand that
No,
as Nalo and as me and you, So, do you understand that Riyad Peters has won more trophies than we did? Really, two.
Riyad,
The goalkeeper.
yeah.
Mm? Do you understand?
I do.
Why do I guess I'm once at the time and place? Is that
yeah,
the
I'm
right
with you.
team?
I get the point. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm trying to show you who if you are in the right team
Right
and then
system.
kanako e right, ila ya win or understand, then
Mm.
things turn to look good for you. You become the great. You become and I'm not saying hurry, if ever we put Teboho in another team, he's not gonna be this great. He's a very good player, exceptional.
It goes
for
on
me.
this and
You know what I think is the best?
Yeah.
Is because you can call any great center mid, ne? They all had certain things that they were very good at. He's good at everything, Joe.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying.
Pass selection, he's got every
Wabona
pass.
ngithi long, wabona like-
Long shot,
Wabona
breaking
wena?
lines up.
Yes.
Yes.
Like you work at
Shot
Arab.
free kick, you
Yeah.
kora. Ah, you guys.
That's what I want to answer Jolly, because I'm thinking like
Let them take
when
it.
it's nagolo kitala as a CM
Yeah.
nagolo kitala career yaga. So I'm thinking okusala ka mona ke mrata ke re maybe una le ma o shota ka
Yeah.
maybe una le o shota ka nna ke sheba mfano no ke a bona re una le everything.
Yeah, complete.
Ningomashe.
Complete.
Niko
Unale
mashe
engine, I can't know ball Ningomashe. Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
yeah, that's true.
Someone Ningomashe
Yeah.
Someone Ningomashe free kick when.
Yeah.
You
That's
know.
what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not complete.
Jali,
You're not complete.
someone Jali free kick when.
Never.
All of them. You can call all of
And
them.
like, you know, like guy, like what's bale, happy there was about shoot like a lace, shoot a power guy. It's as bad about buy one power guy.
No, I think it's very contentious. It's always going to be contentious because I mean this is football and it's an opinion game. Everyone is always going to have their favorites and not their favorites. So I think
That's what I was
I
saying,
argue until a little blue in the face. It's fine. Adequale, Teboho,
Well,
Umnate,
that's the way.
he
What's
can
the
play.
way?
Yeah, he is good. Marka level ya Teboho, no, I mean, come
I
on.
get what's like, well, maybe like a solar mode, king like a maybe is a box to box can maybe.
But this is the question. Yeah,
Yeah, what was it?
so long as you're a free kick.
Sharp.
Exactly.
Raqual. No, it's closed.
Like what?
No, Raqual. Wait, Raqual.
Compare.
Oh, no, but I'm not comparing catch fair.
Sharp.
Yeah.
Sharp people. Raquala taba tebza. Litluba whole no. Arzundane. Sharp. Another. You spoke about what Lorch was the most searched player.
Yeah.
Mara Jens. Lorch Monaco Towns. The game we saw him play against Man City is not the Lorch that we saw at Downs. Guys, so I mean, what's changed? Lorch you feel why that he's a world beater. Everyone in the world wants to know who Lorch is. What happened at Sundowns? Why was he not the same Lorch that we saw a few days ago playing against Man City?
Yeah, he got a lifeline. Wow, he's appreciated. Go with that. So, one thing about players that's very important and crucial, people don't understand it. Kore, when you have someone that believes in you, man, dilo dia change.
Change everything.
Dia change. O ka tseya, re ke se ka ira example ka di-player, mara o ka tseya motho o le goreng ga monate. O mmemo, o le mmotsa gore o itse eng, you are the best. Ha, o tlo bona motlhole.
No.
O tlo bona motlhole. So I feel like
example.
I feel like Go Sundowns, he didn't get the minutes that he would have liked.
Yeah.
Sundowns is a team alluring, it's got a lot of quality. Banana go uwe fomo.
But Happy Luna, this thing right part, and it happens a lot. Yeah, if you can ask Lodge, Kamozara Memo, was he focused? Was he his lifestyle? All those things count.
Okay.
They count.
Kutule rulani ara hauna bottle store awe.
Ana ball
Kumuroko
store.
ra.
They count. Right?
Ana ball store.
Lena, if you come Moza Lodge like Lena Moza and Fetu. And then I got about different when it comes to lifestyle, the way I think he takes football serious. You know he won't get polo serious. You can see even how he plays. He's obviously he's talented.
Like as a player,
But like,
you guys as former players, ne? Like, just explain or happiness on and off the pitch, ne? Like what difference it makes when you are in the right frame of mind. Because now for Naloch, that's what I see. It's still the same Loch Romtsebang. Just that now he just looks happier. He looks more for yeah. Because again that you already play sometimes you lose the focus. What king lifestyle.
Who lose the focus?
King get strap.
Lifestyle. Sometimes Ogra, it's something alluring all these other people alluring by really flop in soccer and in life. But it's a company, it's not being focused and Rena as the player, it's a we never have enough support. You never have someone oloring who keep her grounded or like you need that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you need. And the same things they go England. They look at Grealish. He's not the most well-behaved player, but what protect those type of things. I think we did really mistakes a lot as a player. He made mistakes that he shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But I think right now he will realize it.
Yeah.
And he's in a better position because he's appreciated as well.
Yeah.
Kwadlala Ngote. So it only takes him to say, look, eke chance ka mafelo. And I would like to say these words Kambule going forward.
Okay.
You
I
know?
was going there.
I
I
would
was
like
going
to.
there.
I would like for the boy to learn. I'm a
I
very
was
big
going
fan
there
of
also because
of him.
he was at Sundowns. Maybe he felt like maybe Nasi appreciated. Then
Yeah.
he goes to Skukuni,
Yeah.
where he's getting game time. He's doing well. He's appreciated there. Then he's still doing the same thing. No one like Ulwena sometimes as a player. Utor Papa.
People umcavo wena Sipho personally.
Sipho. Yeah. Personally, like
Was
not
he
like
there?
viral talk.
Can you talk to him?
Yeah, I can talk to him.
When you
I
had
remember like we had a Pelascal, don't forget to I can go Super Sport.
you had that stint when you went back, right?
Yeah,
You
when
did
I
play
went
for-
back to
yeah,
Super Sport, when he they wanted to loan him, Coach Gaetano. I was meant to sign. Remember I told you this
Yeah,
story.
yeah.
Then I got injured.
Yeah.
Then that's when they signed him. They go for prison in Cape Town. Remember? So he was like, I can see like, hey, Mfedu. For player as well, like he's powerful, he's what. But we've seen better players than him. Where are they? Got discipline. Where are they?
Yeah.
Like you only in 10 years, mama.
Yeah.
Sometimes Lurna, but he might not like it. Other people who are old. Lina, I messed up my career. But I'm alone. But if he doesn't learn from Twitter, so Runa direct to but one example in front of you. It's difficult, if he doesn't learn, you'll be the same as Zongo, myself. Like I can count.
Myself.
Honest,
O reng a VAR.
Maar Olen nigger. That's what we want him to do, to learn.
Yes, but
a
like,
change.
but it's not just about difficult for him to get a club. You must know that.
I don't think it's difficult. As long as I can change him, he's talented.
Okay, no can I sign you, ne?
What a player.
I'll sign him. Now I'll sign him like
Yeah.
Kausan.
Maar contract ya ka eri.
Oh, 1, 2, 3.
Es maar net
Oh,
kubona.
okay.
Wabona?
Okay.
So
Okay.
the boy a focus mo bolo man. Distractions.
Because I remember Bozongo to a point where my coach he can even stay at my house. Imagine if in nine and butcher like that.
It's because of Bazama who. So you need to see all those efforts, and I hope the boy will change.
I hope now.
Well,
Ramrata, he's a loved player. man.
Sophisticated defender. We all
I
like
think
him.
as South Africans, we all hope, we want to see the best of Sipho Mbule in the Premiership. I think we can speak for every South African here.
Yeah.
I think ngare bo Sipho Mbule le bozongo ngare ba kaya bo ma Morocco, bo ma Saudi. Konhlalanya.
Azangara ya Morocco le Saudi. Arizo Ronaldo.
But our lifestyle. I think a lot of our players, we've seen the story, guys, too many times. A lot of our players, Bakawatake lifestyle.
I remember
It's
this boy.
standard.
This boy, Kimang, Utoko Egypt. This boy, man.
Matlambi.
Yo.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Same.
That boy.
Le Sundowns, I was in Sundowns.
Okay, go down.
No, I don't know.
Oh,
Okay, look at Sundowns. Nigga say it's a lifestyle. I didn't know until later the trial.
Yeah.
But if you look at Sundowns, half it look at Sundowns and then Pito started shifting. Hey, Pelari the wing, ne?
Yeah.
And I was Rebumai, we got 6. One side, 6 this side, go right, go left. And then Wahid, can you be what Dala? I flop a Irala Moots and none.
Yeah.
How? Who changed it? The whole that boy went straight in front of everyone. I remember with me and some of my other colleagues had complained. Wabo no Irala Mo. Apo what's in a moto fitio. Ara boy. Wabo no coach you and look at training. Yeah, next time do. Where's the go guy? Benching, go Jimmy. No benching. Ba coach eh. Kara mun sa kita nagata cross abulilon.
Why is that?
Ke le montle. Ha ona no ke ntse o fitile o bypassed the whole line ya hore then I realized okay, lifestyle was a problem. I didn't know until ke bona. So in my head I was like, hey. And he's young, ne?
Yeah.
Kodwa uyile
Which was
bikho
fine.
Yeah,
Egypt.
we
Which
lay
was
laugh.
Egypt.
He was at
Maybe okay, it's fine.
He got a better
No,
outfit.
I think let's move on from this. Okay, cool. I want us to bring it back, ne? Since we've said quite a lot of wild statements, Vandag, about best ever this, and all of those types of things. Now the team, Mamelodi Sundowns. We've seen the era of the PSL. I mean, kgale re shebella bolo, right? Ra di tseba the great teams of this and that and this generation and that generation. Is this Mamelodi Sundowns team currently, this one currently now, or ke ya Rulani, or ke ya Manqoba, or ke ya Miguel, ha ke tsebe. But this team right now, is this the best team we've seen professionally in South Africa? Or would we say gore they've raised the bar too high? I mean, they've won the league 8 times, right? Have they raised the bar too high, or are other teams maybe dropping the standard?
You know what I think? Nah? I think it's hard to tell, right? Because they're brilliant. Don't get me wrong. Like not that team guys. Like like I'm a fan. Whatever they're doing, get happy, come on, no?
Yeah.
But they are also playing at a time where I think standards have just dropped, right? And let me ask you this: what the we dominating league, ne? George, what about the we dominating, ne? Imagine, do you think they would easily beat Chiefs Yellow and Stuart? Do you think they would easily beat your Pirates, Eyabo, the one that went to the Champions League final? So imagine we're in an era where Kibafana Baba down, so ne? You have Chiefs Yellow and Stuart, you have Pirates Yellow, you have Ajax Yabo Serrero, you have all those great teams that we've seen. I don't think they'd be so dominant. You have Vets, yeah, Gavin. You have Supersport Alan. I don't think they would be this dominant. I don't
He
know.
answered. He said something. I think I learned something from Coach George. I learned something. Eh?
Yeah.
He said something. The time and all
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things.
yeah.
I think it goes there. Like yeah, Ramfit.
Mm.
Kina kwa wona, kina go ya.
Kina go down soon.
Yeah,
Ke di-
kina go ile
That's
ke era ile. That one at least he learned something. Go. Learn something. No, I was gonna say no. Hi, ele ya rona. Kina go ile ya rona.
So anytime-
Kina go wona.
But no one has had a run like this.
But compete
No,
that's what I'm saying. Okay, answer that question.
That for now.
Imagine all those teams, eh? Imagine
Now.
all those teams were in the league now. You had that Chiefs, you had that Pirates, you had that Super Sport, you had that Vets Gavin. Do you think they'll be winning the league 8 times?
No. There will be competition, Mara. Like the bar has been raised so far.
Yeah.
High. So problem gore is other teams not competing. What do you mean by competing financially?
But you know this thing, Zaga, ne? I think people who like to say we're dancing, yeah, we know because we spend a Zaga. I think that's a lazy opinion. That's not true. Sometimes Khali spend a Zaga. This is not new. But there's something they're doing right now. That's me.
A lot of coaches have failed.
Khale
but
ba
spenders one.
spenda, you
Mara
know?
ke one of the advantages to have.
But they've always had
financial
money.
muscle.
George, they've always had money.
Look now.
Yeah.
There's rumors about the striker Air pyramid that
Yeah.
he's most probably signing.
Yeah, my yele.
Chiefs
Yeah.
wanted him first.
Yeah.
Then if you're telling me Hori, financial muscle as an advantage, then what are you saying?
But let me tell you why it's not about money. Ne?
Okay.
Remove Sundowns.
Mm.
Ne? Chiefs ya palwa nje. Iliwan ya palwa. Because we don't even, Chiefs is not even coming second.
Yeah.
They come back to the number one.
Number 9.
Bapalwa nje. It's not even a Sundowns thing.
Yeah.
Bapalwa nje.
I think structure sabona of recruiting players and it's once it change because I can't make Sundowns financially.
Yeah.
It's all about like going to look for players moloring Sundowns higher level maybe. Yeah, like go. Sundowns has opened the market for South Americans.
Yeah.
Sundowns has opened the market for a lot of African teams. There's players there. There's players. I wish Uren gave us a Lifiston Mile before the final. They would have gotten him, but now Wabona. Sundowns obviously raised the Baba Dala Club World Cup. As a player, Unyuwega.
But is
Dala.
it even about signing? Because look example, ne? Umpula mfano wa center back. Nali defender of the season adlala solos. No, ne? Remember that season that he had?
Yeah,
Was he not considered the best center back in South Africa?
he was.
I Chiefs.
Yes.
What happened to him?
Time
He did
in-
not improve.
That time.
Look at Grant.
What about him?
If I say to you 5 years ago, where Grant is going to be maybe the best center back in South Africa, no, I believe until.
No.
And I'm not saying it in a. Let's be honest.
No, no, I
100%,
know.
I get
But
I-
look at
I
what
question
happens when
Lena.
players arrive at Sundowns.
But
Their game gets better and better.
But I think happily, I think maybe some scouting, whatever such. I think they dropped the standard somehow, man. You know, there's players that I'm not, with all due respect, players that are Chiefs. When I play like, this one is not for Chiefs. Kind of like you
Yeah.
understand, you know.
Yeah.
And like you know, I see what you know, like this thing, or you know, Timmy Gashi, like sorry, my friend. Like I now want to be honest because
Yeah.
we all see, you know, Chiefs when Chiefs win, in fact, South Africa,
Yeah.
we need a team like Chiefs to perform well.
Mm.
It's good for our country, it's good
Thank
for
you.
everything. But like there's players like Mamelodi players that didn't Chiefs, kill go TV. And then I see these players, like it's like they don't care. Or maybe I realize about Chiefs. I won't mention the name.
So do you guys, because you guys let Radile for the big team, ne? Do you believe this thing here, or there's good players, but these players that are meant for big teams?
I love to think so. Yeah.
And like,
At least
Go Chiefs. No, how many players can you say this is Chiefs material? Be
Yeah.
honest.
no.
Yeah. Current.
maybe Mama 5.
I'm a 4. Yeah, max 5.
5.
Max.
Lelepo is good. He deserves to be there. He's a player.
Okay.
Understand? Utlisa something.
Yeah.
Shabalala.
Shabalala.
Mtu.
Okay.
Unyuwala ukuthi.
Yo, tele.
Tele?
Yeah,
Okay.
Tele.
Tele. Yo.
Yeah.
Because no one nahanis.
Yeah.
Unyakufaka
Like,
guys.
but a 5, you got the ones or like
Chile,
maybe
dog,
like
Chile.
I'm a buy, and it's not good for Chiefs.
Totally.
Oh, totally. Yo. Totally. Yeah.
Totally
But
defender.
yes, center back. Yeah.
Raval.
And it's not good for team like Chiefs. And it shouldn't be like this.
It looks like a struggle.
And
though.
it shouldn't like it shouldn't be like
we
this.
have to think, right?
Chile, if you're being honest, they'll fade.
I'm sure it's no, but there's
And I happen like you know like team like Chiefs in fact there's no Arsenal leadership. You know there's players that know about it.
Big personalities.
There's no
Yeah.
Come on,
There's
leader.
no leadership.
Come on, leader. Go Chiefs.
That's
that
the
was
only
the big
problem.
problem.
I'm not saying Marty is not a leader, but like if now what we now in our time if like like Ustanyana, we had this thing about
Wait.
like we are dead. And that like when I try as a player, Kiko guy.
Yeah.
They don't have that. They don't have fear.
Yeah.
Nagilaga culture because the
Oh,
way
yeah,
the way what chief stealing like generations.
But what was there
Once-
when you were there, George? Why
once-
Lunan win?
Once is everyone, but once Abaiti culture, the place that I think now.
Yeah.
Abaiti because unsise everyone. Once
Yeah.
everyone who knew it was there. Leave it there for a guy there. Bafana maybe a Parker because
Yeah.
leave them there horrible guy there and then over like the winning mentality but you just took everyone out so they're building their own culture now but build up from scratch so that thing even problem
Yeah.
with us nagi fihla mo le ke rile shabalala already ke star
Yeah.
ke rile Kuno already ke star yeah already ke star
Look, that's get Chiefs and need.
Well,
Why you
understand.
get Chiefs?
And
So,
and
out
George,
of opera coaster so bar no boy you have
Why,
not
what?
done anything
You see?
apara coaster tell boy
How they train?
how ka betha crossbar
Oh, bona
man.
shaba train na jwang mshebile as a youngster. Nakola train no bona.
Exactly why
Example.
push
So that's why you so. And but look Pirates it took them after generational road. But they got it right somehow. You see, unali the leaders, unali that thing. Like some of the
So,
big teams.
Maro, I
like-
want or my point, or it's not just about Chelsea Sundowns.
So,
Yeah, but they just
Hey,
okay. At
guys-
least Pirates is coming back.
Guys, even if you look
coming.
at it, if you look at the game, even from a European lens, a lot of teams have thrown money.
Yeah.
But if the structures from within the team, from recruitment to the youth team and all of those types of structures are not in place, you can look at Chelsea now.
Yeah.
They're spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know.
PSG before
PSG
PSG
before
used
now,
to
they
spend.
were
They
spending
were
a
not
lot of money.
winning. Yeah.
But until you get that formula right between structure and everything,
Yeah.
I don't think money can just say it's because of the money. No, it's not just the yes, the money is an added advantage,
Yeah.
but it's not just the money.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of other factors that come into play. So, you know, I wanted to talk about Chiefs but it's fine. We've already went there. So I think we can go and we've spoken about Mamelodi Sundowns. We've spoken about the Club World Cup. I think we can maybe zero in on the PSL, ne? And when we zone in on the PSL, we spoke a little bit earlier about Rulani and the fact that he was fired because I win a Champions League. He win the league. Rulani has been winning the league, right? And I'm pretty sure each and every one of us think if Rulani was the coach, he was going to win the league. Probably.
Yeah.
Yes, no, maybe.
he was gonna win
Yeah, he was going to 100%. Miguel Cardoso now has won the league.
Yeah.
But for us to say that he was a success in South Africa, what else like let's say next season go PSL no. What's one selling? Like how do we say Miguel was a, because it's still that conversation or Kitimia Rulani, Kitimia Mamang. But for us to Miguel was a success, what does he need to do?
Why was he brought in?
Well, allegedly to win the Champions League.
I agree. Yeah.
So Miguel,
Look, I think you need to look at it holistically, right?
Okay.
I think whether or not someone is successful for me is you look at what they have and you look at what they make of that, right? Of it, if Miguel, and I think this was Rolani's biggest thing as well. I love Coach Rolani. I think it's great. Marale na win league fella last
yeah,
season.
win the league fella. Yeah.
I don't know if it's good enough just to win the Liga Sundowns. With what Sundowns have now, win a league fella.
It's not.
You know? So I think for me, if you're gonna win the league, maybe we pick up to net bank, get something to pick up a net banking, you know, and other deliverables like introduce young players into the team, or give us a blueprint in terms of style of play, whatever. Because I don't think if we ever get to this thing, or Jaja coach win a Champions League, that's a very dangerous road. Because think about it, how difficult is it to win the Champions
That's the
League?
reason they brought him
But that's
in.
what. Yeah.
That's what we think. So you tell him more Cardoso to win the Champions League, otherwise he's not successful.
Why the Sundowns
Why
battle
go
win
wa
the Champions
Rolani,
League?
Freno go win a league fela?
True.
Ra mo gobela. An- He was brought in because Onal experience at Champions
So you
League.
say he must deliver the Champions League, or that or nothing.
This is what Sundowns needs. They wanted. So let the men win Champions League. Aratloele League. Sundowns is no longer a team at PSL.
So-
They're a team to compete to go Africa and then the world.
Yeah, yeah.
What's
But
about
next season, next season, what do you want to
It looks like
No.
Bakasu win a league.
No, next season.
what's going to happen
Ah,
next
they
season?
win
win.
Why won't they win the
I
league?
never win a league.
Why won't
I
they win
think
the
Perez
league?
will win the league.
Supporter.
Wait.
Perez,
Wait. Let me.
Ruthless.
Okay.
Can I?
Bua, so.
Perez is gonna win the league next season.
Yeah. Okay.
You'll see.
Why do you say that?
Because what's up, Perez working? Because our child is working. Champions League. They lost. Oh, wait. They lost focus. League. They thought they were gonna go all the way, and then now, because they don't have. I think they need to fix. They don't have the squad to compete. Kamuga.
That's a fair
Wait.
point, yeah.
Let me,
It's the same thing
guys.
with Sundowns.
Yeah, but Sundowns they play same players. If
Guys
you check
are-
the league, and it's not like Sundowns they play.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of players there, but they don't play maybe 11 in and then 11 in.
No,
All they
100%.
can do.
I get your point, ne?
No?
But Pirates lost the league by 12 points.
I know. Like,
Lebaring.
I explain the reason.
Squad.
Now we're busy at Champions League.
Yeah, but you'll see next season, bro. You'll see.
But
I think we need.
I think the league is too easy for Sundowns, man. Sundowns in a win a 4 nearly restill guys, Mara. What are we even doing? What are we even doing?
The record
Like, honestly.
the last time they lost at home?
I have no idea, but did they lose at home this season?
No.
That's why we need your Chiefs.
Okay, no.
You go
Okay, sharp.
Chiefs.
Let's shift focus a bit, ne?
Yeah.
We're at the upper echelon of the league. Let's take it back a bit. We looked at a relegation scrap this season where SuperSport United was involved. We looked at Cape Town City was involved.
Yeah.
Cape Town City is involved in the relegation playoffs as we speak. What the heck happened? What happened? How did we find SuperSport and Cape Town United in a relegation scrap?
It's just teams being comfortable in being in the league. And not being ambitious enough, wanting to win it. And you know what that does? You start selling your best players. So they've gotten away with it so long. Now
Yeah.
it caught
It's
up
catching
with them.
up. It's catching up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recycling of players and so forth.
I mean, just look at the Sundowns Sri Lanka yona no. Ronwen, Grant, Tebza, Obrik. I mean, come on. All two.
Sundowns are in a academy. No, I am asking. No, I'm saying.
Khoza, let's have, yeah.
No, but they chose in faith already. But in the academy, it's a team is sharp financially and what. And it's not right for the team like that. They don't produce much for the academy.
And my biggest problem is that Rakavala, how many Mamelodi players are there?
In the dance
Yeah.
team. Are there any Mamelodi players? You have?
The centre back cause
That's what I'm saying.
But my thing is
I guess that's where you were supposed to come in when I joined.
No, I'm not sure.
Sorry,
Mara, my thing
I
is
want something like, I want to show you something with Pirates is gonna
Exact.
compete.
Yeah.
You must check Pirates players from his team.
Yeah.
They're doing something right.
They are.
You will see.
In terms of development, they are.
Okay.
They do it like in age and time. These players are getting. Nkota is a regular. This boy is a regular. Mbogani is a regular. Young boys.
By the way,
Okay.
when I Bibo or Pirates win a league, so who would you give? Habana coach. Okay, Gamang when.
I don't know. Kimang available no.
Rolani Pizzo.
Pizzo like we.
Rolani available. Pizzo
Okay,
available.
not now, but
For
as
Pirates.
Pizzo. Yeah.
Coach Pizzo being there. I don't know now.
It's
Yeah.
available.
Yeah, Pizzo
It
is.
is.
Oh, Sheffield.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't get job in South Africa.
I don't
No,
know.
it's saying-
I don't know if they
Good
can afford him.
price.
I don't know. But
Yeah, they
Yeah,
can.
at a good
Why
price.
not?
okay.
Okay, no, fair.
But like I'm pretty sure Coach Pizzo can't go. Like I don't think he's gonna go as knowing Pirates. Maybe then active no matter. Coach Pizzo ki coach controlling in a lot of things. Like in everything.
You
like
think
in
he's
the
gonna get
team,
that in Pirates?
It can happen.
My thing with him, he's a good coach, ne? He's a good coach. But
Brilliant.
relationship yeah highly with the players. You know, he can tell you something, ne, Eloring, it's gonna benefit you in the next 10 years. But how he tells you, that's the problem. Yeah. But then after he was actually saying hore save us.
Yeah.
But nna ke bone ekare o na le problem
na
le
le
kole.
problem le
But he's
tjhelete
saying
ya
save the money because kaosane, you're gonna need the money you're spending on something that you don't have to. So my thing with him is personal experience ya hae le information I passing from coach to player. It's something that Loring wabo. But yeah, he's good.
But
So
when
okay, Gamang Pizzo Rolani or
I would say Pizzo. I would have liked for
Coach-
Coach Pizzo to go to Chiefs
Chiefs.
before Coach Nabi.
knowing
I-
knowing Coach Pizzo ne, as a coach, Coach Chiefs will start out. Let's it out. So you think like they'll give him I don't want to say power, but like these teams literally, the teams literally, that thing here, hey, they want to train. No, but because Sandazuka is until
Look
because
at Chiefs guys.
okay, but go Perez, I don't think.
Yeah. So,
Coach
but
Pizzo later he coach the whole. So
no, he
let-
demands.
What?
So
So that's it's not a
Pizzo I go Chiefs. Oh, by some 18. Oh,
Kala team fat, ne?
you want to sign?
no, he
You want to
demands.
sign?
like
And
it's
you
difficult
squad DJ.
sometimes. Difficult.
Okay, no, fair. I think now that we're speaking about Chiefs, Chiefs by far has the biggest fan base in South African football. I think we touched on it. You said that South Africa needs a strong Kaizer Chiefs team. Ne? Spoke about it a bit, but let's just say right now you're looking at the team that they have, and for them to do well, at least compete, not win. Ne? Let's start there. Chiefs are not in the top 8 currently as we speak, meaning that they're not really playing most of the cup competitions next season. Aside amount, where do we need to strengthen the team? Where do we go?
There was players.
You know what I would do? Go Chiefs.
Yeah.
Reset.
was
I think Chiefs.
But you
I don't know if they've got the money, ne? But I think Chiefs need one of those windows where
everyone out.
I've seen
sign a
Amazulu.
good 7-8 players.
I've seen
And I've got
Amazulu.
names that I think
You've
Chiefs
seen
can
Amazulu.
sign. Right?
But I'm saying
Yeah, Amazulu.
cheap.
Amazulu.
They're
Like
clearing.
40,
Yeah.
Cheap, but did the same thing. But there was players in Linke Pirates from Stellenbosch or other tag in center.
Yeah, Nduli.
Is it? Yeah, is a player that Chiefs could have signed. I don't think they shouldn't have waited till Pirates, but they could have signed him.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of players. Now you need to be smart about your signings because you don't want to compete. Well, on less Sundowns, you can't compete financially. But there is a lot of players. Loren Bagadi signed even from Sundowns.
Because I think the Chiefs can sign. Oh, Chiefs are short. I guess.
You said you have players where now.
Yeah, let me tell you. I think I'm starting from the back now. Ne? Unolentoni lalang Stelisia, yes, center back. Muluisan. No, Maremna, Muluisan.
Yeah.
I would sign that boy at Chiefs. I mean, imagine that boy at Lalali Dot. Now that looks like a Chiefs center back pairing. That can be
And
taken
right back.
seriously. Ne? You know what? Actually,
What do you think about this Solomon?
Umtava Kafu.
He's a right back.
No.
He's not a right back.
Umtava Kafu.
He's not a right back. Yes, to
He's
start
not.
off.
He was never right back. Even
He's not
from
a right
Never
Swallows.
right back. Even was
From
do
Swallows.
you know a player called Kafu? Mang Tibang Peto, he plays overseas something. He's available, I heard.
Exactly. There's a lot of
I
these
would
players
sign
that
him.
are good country.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the how
Sign a
they got
Sipho Mbule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, ka contract
I would sign
there.
Sipho Mbule, give him a 1+1.
Ka contract
Very close.
Contract
Very
special.
Yeah, but like it's serious, but yeah, man.
I would go fetch and nail Miami. If I'm Chiefs, kill that boy, get a how regular. Like, come here.
But it's a problem getting players from Sundowns because player really will Club World Cup. Like computer for
So-
top 8.
So Dala
You're not
It's
playing.
hard to convince a player.
Yeah.
And especially, I don't think Sundowns want to lose him.
What the bonus did he so man?
Another thing.
Hey, man, what
So,
George,
George-
Chiefs it was Sundowns. I'm a promote.
Wait. George, I want to go back to what you're saying. Ne? So, I was like,
Yeah.
you hardly get a kick. Wakena mola le mola, but you hardly get it. As a player, don't you have ambitions to play maybe for the national team? Huna le World Cup uno yazogala iso as a Neo Miami. Don't you want to be playing week in, week out? Ukava hore ntwana heke spana ke regular. Ke nna iso. Like, isn't that motivation enough for you to leave a Downs elo dlala isang Club World Cup?
But there's another fact of players that have left Sundowns to Chiefs and what happened to them.
But don't you back yourself though? When you're going into an environment like that. What's a lang kan coaches who fitla
Yeah, but
jwang
the
like
Chiefs now don't understand players dealing money. When I see Chiefs, they have structures as sharp. What's going on with Chiefs players dealing money?
Keep period loring rough for now.
Oh, no good
10 years, George.
It
Oh,
needs.
yeah.
Oh, in the
George.
cup. What do you mean 10 years?
No good tell us all.
10 years.
Net bank.
We happy guy on that Bengal like and then the next man George.
At least we kiss something.
Level at Chiefs you.
It's not. It's not. Trust me, it's not. Mara, it's going to take. That's why I know a whole employer coach in Europe. They say a project. It needs a
We happy guy
project.
coach now.
No, you know what's my problem?
Happy guy coach.
Yeah. But my thing is now, ka Chiefs, no. I think they're making a lot of emergency signings. Someone that has a one good season. And then Otla Mola and then ke flop.
he's not a big team
Aba
player.
mo scout like and go back to his, So I think that's what needs to happen. But scout a player properly. Hore motho since 3 years ago, Naira. Oscar one hit wonder. Ufiklile had a
Chivaviro had one good season by
Oh my
Messiah.
God.
A lot. Like Libam to do.
And I mean,
Man.
It was good for Cape Town.
Mdantsane.
Tanzania. A lot.
And we're not bashing the guys. But
No, we're not.
I just
People
don't, I
already
just
know.
don't,
If
I
they're
just, yeah,
honest
I
with
just don't
themselves,
think I
no.
guess Chiefs the way it's about. No.
Yeah, it's a scouting
Um,
and
Let's also think about this. Okay, Chiefs. We've said what they need. Bibo are Pirates win a league next season. I can't understand this one. So
And
if we're
credit must go to coach to Makai.
fine.
What he's doing, people don't say.
coach again team no.
Fine. Yeah, cool. Team first.
Arta tola salawar.
Okanyaka.
Bibo, when a team how a winning league, if Kwena, Pirates coach again next season, and where are the reinforcements needed? We said they have a thin squad, right? Who's going to be the coach? And with this thin squad, because this is an 8-year dynasty that Downs has been pushing. They need to stop Sundowns. 100%. That's the benchmark. So for Pirates to get to the level, who's coaching Pirates next season? And player-wise, what it look like?
Player wise, and we promoted enough now. Hey, we don't need a lot of young players now. We enough. We need balance. We need balance.
But guys, you see
But
my-
like we need to start with the coach
But you see
first.
my point about the league or League MNAT. There was a time where every season, when you think of who Chiefs can sign, when you think of who Pirates can sign, Imna, Ronaldo players baya. Ajax had good players, Golden Arrows had good players.
Respect.
But now it's difficult. When I ask you Pirates to sign a man,
Stars.
what's that? I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know. Yeah, like now you need
We need some new blood, maybe more. Maybe Sons Bachebeng didn't want. I want to like
And like there's no
besides
time.
Sipho Mbule,
no
you got a
time.
special
There isn't.
contract. Like there's nobody that you can say right now in South African football, Basine or available. And then Utor to win a league. Bye.
And there's no time if you promote this youngster. There's no time Rumfana.
Yeah, that's what happened because Chiefs now youngsters and they relied on these youngsters.
Yeah.
And they had too much pressure on them.
But Parasite showed it too much, guys. You just need
No,
Yeah,
I
you're
shot too
right.
much.
It
Maybe
can compete.
If we
Yeah,
can,
here and
they can
there, yeah.
compete. Like maybe 2, 3,
Mm.
maybe 2 signings. They maybe.
You know what I think they need?
Then-
Yeah.
Some Pirates need a proper. Let me not say proper. I think it's a bit offensive to the guys who are there because they're good players. But some Pirates need a stronger central midfielder for me.
Strong.
I don't.
Like Mang
No,
Songbut.
Talente is good, sharp. Makaula is good, but I don't think you win the league with with them. I don't
Pirates
see it.
happened I think a mobile striker, man.
And a striker.
Say mobile.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have 2. They dlalang almost outside. Makupa Leno dlala almost. But we have Mabasa. We don't have like a strike. We can sometimes run off defenders. We need to have sometimes variation. Sometimes we dlala into one. Plus sometimes they need to come off. Like so. I think we need a striker like that also.
But then it comes back to you.
Man,
Mang, this is the thing. Ooh.
That's a question.
It's a tough one.
And
It's a
then
tough one.
we spoke a bit about Rele. And I think the consensus was for the good of South African football, boy Tswansava. He needs to get a team in Europe for the good of him and South African football. But there's another player who's currently not playing go Pirates, Saleng. What do you do with a Saleng? Are we bringing him back into the fold? Can they bring him back into the fold? Is that an option? Or Leno Tswansava? Or Bibo?
Yeah, Bibo should know. I get team how chief. Oh, try.
nothing. Ne?
Hmm.
I think for Yena, he knows what happened. Rona, as much as we read about it, we say and whatever, he knows if like he wants to play and to the best of his abilities. Like Camille, I looks at whatever the problem is. So because of he played with players, they understand, and then maybe the new coach is gonna come. It's gonna be maybe a start, like a new start for him. But he's he's the one that knows what happened. So the only sometimes like Ronaldo as players, we decide can't really you're like I'll go elsewhere and play. And then we get there, we flop. It's better like hormones or Zimbabwe. Better come on to come on
Better the
Zimbabwe.
devil you know.
Yeah, where you know. And then like where you perform better. So now I think you can just go and talk. Go live trouble holder. I look
I
at
look,
it.
isn't it?
Ngazale ball. Simple.
Nagar the boy must go, man.
Where?
Have I?
Chiefs can go.
That's another player Chiefs can sign. No, what problem?
Well, maybe yeah. If yeah.
I think it'll be
That's
it'll
how
be a
many
good
years?
move for the
That's how many
player
years
Chiefs.
they-
Yeah.
I get the contract title like
Kabila sa like a contract day. That's why. Like yeah.
that's something.
I got something.
Yeah, but obviously I got
Or it's a Lenangas what to
Yeah.
lose. When that's what to lose a player. Like
Mara Pirates were released the wing backs are another bit.
we need to sign, but
And
they were not there. They were not.
Do you think those are good signings, by the way? Moyane Lemako.
they signed them.
Did they sign?
They've signed with Chiefs.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
They signed.
No, they've signed with Chiefs. Because I heard they're even going to Holland with the team. They've signed. Do you think those are good signings?
That's why I get when I get emergency signings.
I'm not there.
There's
They're
players
good
that are
players,
in-
Mara Mara. Like what
Parents
are you
released
doing?
them. They released them because they were always injured, and then now Chiefs take them. What he said. Sometimes like teams that is a check injury history of player. They just sign because of so and so. About checking the history of player. If it's a only man.
Available. Kerata more the right back. Munyan. I like him. I think Unale.
I also like it.
Yeah.
I also like it.
Do you think outside? I mean, we've spoken about Chiefs, we've spoken about Dons, we've spoken about Pirates. I think those are the biggest teams in the league. Is there anybody else you think that can compete or make it into those top 3 spots outside of usual suspects? Let's say next season, who do you think? You have Dons, you have Pirates. We're saying Dons and Pirates are competing for the league. Who else is joining them in that race? Because I think our league has a problem, guys. In terms of viewership, if you think about it, stadium, Hoya Stadium, da, haona batho da. So maybe it's also a problem of competition, or maybe it's a marketing problem. I don't know what the problem is, right? But over and above what we just spoken about, because these are the teams that everybody's speaking about, is there anybody else who can come and upset status quo from what you've seen this past season?
I think if one team that doesn't sell their best players can compete, it's
At
Stellenbosch.
least. Yeah.
They can compete.
Yeah.
but they keep losing.
They keep losing their best players.
Key players. Yeah.
Yeah.
Their team. Buffett is a number man. No?
Yeah. But by the way, do you think Barca, would you consider him or a coach like a Pirates or a Chiefs? Or do you think it's those coaches or sharp with a team like what's the least so?
For Chiefs like
Chiefs, Pirates.
Man, Pirates.
no, I think maybe Nafon ne coach Barca ne aka coach ko
I got coach of Pirates.
aka coach ko Pirates aka coach ko because the coach or the coach it's hard like he can coach ko Pirates he can coach I don't know like he can coach ko Pirates
I meet him personally.
so
Again, if we go that thing,
But he
being
can
South
coach.
African, being
Sure.
this,
No,
this,
he
that,
can coach.
you need to,
He can
to be
coach.
strong.
Coach, aka coach.
Yeah.
Aka coach.
Okay. So with regards to that, anything else from a PSL perspective before a wrap that you guys would like to talk about? Anything we've missed?
Like what we work at this thing. Like you must tell me what we wanna run. Ne? I was saying, you know this team say promote doing. See like Devon City
Yeah.
promoted now. I don't know if it was ever me.
Yeah.
And then Devon City is gonna come to PSL. They're gonna change almost the whole team now. Remember? And then now I have a problem with players not getting paid. I don't like no, I'm not talented because can see them so they're gonna come and then sign players. So knowing they can't afford this
Budget.
players. Just because of the need to reinforce, they need experience. But they will about 12, then they bring these players and then they can't pay them after 6 months. No problem, man.
I think
It happens all the time.
Yeah,
It's not right. It's not right until players get patani. When now don't make your problem yarona.
Personal, ne?
No, it's personal. It's not
Yeah.
right. Players not getting paid.
And another
It's
thing-
wrong,
But you know,
Wait,
Sako,
let's
Liko
see.
Solo.
Oh, is it? All right into it.
And another thing, Guru, but-
Ukambani wa ring kam feta re is already 10,000 because about every month 10,000.
Mara yake na ya.
Philo ba ke pela nga 10,000.
Mm.
Then I saw Leo 10 year. It's painful. So these owners must know that they must know their pocket.
The thing is,
That's a fair
the
point.
player I'd say also that they fought and Bakra promotion, it's a bit unfair, you know, because that's what you're looking forward to. And then how fitly no.
At least other
We
players.
want experience.
And then Osaina Mange Ulalang happy when if then you wanna start again. For
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
That's it. But it's football. It's like that.
I think okay, Shaprare by PSL, ne? And I want us to talk, but we're not gonna spend a lot of time on this, guys. When you're looking at the European game, ne? If you look at the European game, I just want us to spend a little bit of time here. Europe, but it's fine.
Why? If it's what by Europe?
So quick one. Let's say England. Liverpool just won the league. Are they doing it again this next season? Let's look what they've done in the transfer market. George, what do you think? I see you shaking your head, my brother.
They spend a lot of money on individuals, like two players. Man City has reshuffled. It's bought like 5 players. So I think obviously they're gonna compete, if not win the league.
Okay, so if it was up to you right now, what you saying? You're saying City wins the league?
City.
Don't want to win the league.
I think it depends. I think.
What happened to?
Let's see what City does in the transfer window.
What happened to Arsenal? Like Arsenal, you know I don't like Arsenal.
You don't like it?
You know I don't like Iron. Like you have a player like Thomas Partey.
Mm.
You don't give me a contract. You don't have a better player. Oh, like and then you don't give me a contract. How many years? Once win.
Yeah. Second.
And then you don't give a player like that a contract.
What if we really greedy now?
But they were negotiating. They were
But if
negotiating.
it was a player from Europe, they're gonna give. Now he's
You
for
think?
South African. Yeah.
I think
No, not
Nathan Kane-
racism, man.
Because it's not. I don't wanna say it's racist because of like. In fact, if nearly player yaku Netherlands yaku Kai, if Kamile Adhalaska Thomas, no what guy easy. No, because they check is African. All these things they count.
Yeah. So you're saying Hore Martin Zubamendi, who's coming in right now, is not better than Partey?
Yeah, no.
No. Granted. What Mpho? You saying? I mean, City in January they spent about 200 and something million. They're spending another 200 and something million right now as we speak, and I don't think they're done in terms of the transfer market. So what are you saying? Because in terms of what City is doing, and who do you think is going to win the league?
I think with City is teams work in cycles, and City, I think their cycle is done for that group. We've seen Kyle Walker out, Kevin De Bruyne out, Gundogan Salah Kroete, Silva Kroete. So they need to rebuild the team, right? And I'm not sure if they can immediately start winning again.
Yeah.
Because I think they need a big revamp. But we will see. But I don't think this is a very good Liverpool team, by the way. I think this Liverpool
But I don't
team
see-
won the league because the
Yeah.
league
There was no
they were just
competition.
weaker
Yeah,
But
this
yeah.
season.
I don't see City starting to win immediately.
We'll see. Yeah, that's why I want to. Lynn, I don't think they
Like,
immediately start to
Maybe
win.
like a season, then
Maybe a
like that
season, yeah, not to abo.
So we're saying we don't think City's gonna win. We don't think the Liverpool team is that good. So who wins the league?
Arsenal.
Arsenal wins the league.
And like I think this season a team is maybe your Newcastle can win the league.
Huh?
I'm telling you,
Ah, Bibo.
you'll see.
Bibo, Newcastle is
We'll
gonna be
see.
playing in the Champions League this season.
They're
They
gonna-
don't have the strongest of squad in terms
But
of depth.
how did all these big ones like they also playing?
I've got my money on Arsenal, and I know we've been saying this
You're
for so
losing,
many years.
definitely losing. You are definitely losing your money.
Man, this time of it.
And your money is
I'm
going.
Yeah, this time I can have a guy.
First time, like,
Yeah. Okay, guys.
Your money is
No
going.
chance. How about
Yeah,
you,
Arsenal.
Nini?
Aba win. We're not Liverpool, Chop.
And this time,
Or
Barca
City.
City number 2.
So what
What
I'm
the-
saying City.
So you say Newcastle,
No, I'm not.
Arsenal,
It's more like
City,
Chelsea or
Newcastle.
Hmm?
What about Chelsea?
Like it's either Chelsea or like not this
Chelsea or
not
Newcastle?
City. Yeah, no, Chelsea. Chelsea, you know, even when I look at Chelsea, remember what he said? Chelsea man, I think man, no.
Okay, no fade. So Arsenal, City,
City.
Chelsea, Newcastle.
No, not Chelsea. Let me say Newcastle.
Okay, Newcastle.
Hey, when I'm a bra.
I'm saying Newcastle.
Kwelam Bibo, re Mosise o rarabile, ne? Okay, sharp. Like I said, we're not going to spend too much time on this. And then we go to Spain. Looks like Barcelona are about to get Nico Williams. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it looks like. Globally, Nico Williams on one side, Yamal on one side. Madrid just got Trent. Xabi Alonso is the new coach. Do you think Madrid will be able to keep up and compete with Barca? Who do you think wins the league in Spain?
Barca.
Easy. Madrid.
Aye.
That's what.
Ishotang. So Trent ba tlo mesa out.
Trent.
So what's Trent? Maruna le Cavallal. There's still Cavallal who's coming back
Okay,
from
yeah,
injury
okay.
when the season starts.
I think Madrid. For me, Madrid need to replace Toni Kroos.
Tony Cruz, ne?
Yeah, they need to replace Toni Kroos.
I think wamrata phela apho sikalebala shabi yaborata is more is technical.
Who?
Wamrata
What's
we
his
were talking
primary
about
job?
Caval and Trent.
So you're saying what's going to happen between them?
Maybe I can get Caval misa go center.
Who center back?
Players.
Adlala le man center back people.
I get a right back. Good lale, man.
Cavallal teng ake. O tla lwana le Trent right
Exactly.
back.
So like so Luna if Nico Williams goes
Yeah.
go Barca. So Rafinha
As a
We don't know, but it's a plan.
10.
yeah, that's what he said. Come on, the coach.
He said that?
Yeah, he said he's gonna put him like attacking mid or behind the striker. Somewhere there.
Then you almost tla ba shebeletse, ne?
Fortunately.
Even if you can watch
Okay.
it,
So we say Barcelona is winning the league definitely. So it's consensus,
Yeah.
ne?
Yeah,
Champions League. Re shebile.
it's a difficult one.
don't know.
I would like for PSG to have another good run, but
gonna be tricky.
Champions League is.
Yeah,
Yeah, Champions League
I think
is.
Champions League is a bit of
Mpola heng, man. Arsenal.
Well,
No, I'd rather give it to PSG. No, no, you go Arsenal. Arsenal.
I think it's very open right now.
Arsenal,
I think it's
Arsenal
open.
is the team that everyone loves to hate, ne? Like
Yeah, two seasons in a row. Ampur.
No, but no. Jokes aside, I think those boys were Barca this season. I think they will get the Champions League.
What's up?
probably.
Yeah, I think those boys will get.
They
the
have a
Champions
good
this season.
chance.
Yeah,
No,
I
If
think
not, if as well, like PSG can win it again.
Yeah. But those are still the two strongest teams.
I think PSG and Barca are definitely
Yeah,
the strongest
still the
teams
two
in the
strongest,
in
yeah.
the Champions League. And those boys, remember, Barca's team is a lot of young players. They've matured. It's another season also that they've been playing at the highest level. So I think now, if you look at how they lost to Inter, I think it's a bit of naivety and a bit of know-how because they were the better team and they were scoring, and then Inter was somehow
There's-
come back. So
There's this center back. Yeah, pass. Come on, that
who?
guy.
Martinez,
No. Yo.
Mang?
Must sell that guy.
Arujo.
But Araujo nasa dlale this season.
Oh, what
Dlale
he is,
me.
No, but he costed the team. He costed
Australia,
the team.
Jesus.
He costed the team.
Okay, gents. I think we've pretty much covered everything we needed to cover. Ne? So I think maybe this is just to the viewership, guys. If there's anything that you'd want us to discuss or cover in the next episode of the State of Football, please leave it in the comment section. Let us know in terms of the PSL favorite players, who should sign, who should go where, coaches, any of that. We'll probably cover it in the next episode of the State of Football. But other than that, gentlemen, George, Bibo, Mpho,
Mnat.
thank you very much. Until the next one, it's a wrap.